A very good morning and a warm welcome to our eminent speaker, Swami Swatmananda Saraswati Ji, Director Sir, Professor V.S. Hi, Dr. Mamta Tripathi, Chairperson Anandam, Dr. Pankaj Agrawal, Associate Professor, members of faculty, staff, and our dear students. Anandam, the Center for Happiness, is honored to host this talk on cultivating optimism by one of the most revered and vibrant spiritual leaders of India, Swami Swatmananda Saraswati Ji. As it has been beautifully quoted by Miss Melinda Gates, that optimism isn't a belief that things will automatically get better. Rather, it's a conviction that we can make it better. With this thought of positivity in mind, I would like to invite Dr. Mamta Tripathi, our chairperson, to introduce our esteemed speaker, Swami Swatmananda Saraswati Ji. Please do the honors.
Thank you, Ashish. Very good morning to respected Swami Swatmananda Saraswati Ji, esteemed members of our advisory board, Anandam, all the faculty colleagues, members of staff, valued external participants from prestigious institutions, and to all my dear students. It is indeed a matter of great pleasure and a distinct honor for me to extend a warm welcome to Swamiji and to all of you on behalf of IIM Jammu to yet another event of Anandam, the Center for Happiness. We are extremely grateful to Swamiji, who kindly accepted our invitation to share his thoughts and wisdom on the very pertinent topic, that is cultivating optimism. And I'm sure his expertise in the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta will help all of us today to have a deeper understanding and more perspective on how we can train ourselves to be more optimistic. I'm honored to introduce Swami Swatmananda Saraswati Ji, the speaker for today's talk. Swami Swatmananda Saraswati Ji is one of the most dynamic leaders of Chinmaya Mission, an Acharya of Chinmaya Mission South Mumbai. He has completed the Vedanta course from Powai in 2000, and since then he has been serving Chinmaya Mission Mumbai. He expounds the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta through talks on Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, and other texts of Vedanta, and Bhakti through camps, meditation retreats, interactive sessions, and discussions for youth and adults. Children love him dearly and look forward to his annual summer camps on various themes of spirituality, India, Hindu culture, etc. He inspires the youth with dynamic spirituality, encourages them to think and question by using various mediums like theater plays, treks, outdoor experiential learning programs, music, etc. He also conducts the Youth Empowerment Program, which is a value-based leadership program for youth who want to serve the nation and culture, and over 1,000 youth have completed this program in 12 batches so far. Swamiji is also a playwright and has written and directed 2 theatrical performances. The first one is Adrashya, Quest for the Unseen, based on Saraswati civilization, and another is Developed India. 9 shows of Adrashya have been performed by Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, Mumbai, in Mumbai, Pune, Allahabad, and Chennai. Just like that, a play based on Bhagavad Gita in the life of Ananda family and how they discover harmony by applying the principles of Gita was written and directed by him in 2015. He has also been invited as a guest speaker at several corporates like Piramal Group, Reliance Industries Limited, Mahindra and Mahindra, Tata Motors, Toyota, PricewaterhouseCoopers, etc. I can continue talking about his initiatives and contributions, but I have to stop here due to time constraints. Swamiji, we are glad and honored to have you here with us today, and I express my sincere gratitude for sparing your valuable time for this session today. But before I hand over the session or the virtual stage to Swamiji, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Director Sir for his constant support, encouragement, and guidance in all our endeavors. He could not be a part of this event today due to some other engagements, though he was very much looking forward to this event. I'm also thankful to Dr. Pankaj, who kindly agreed to address the gathering today. Dr. Pankaj is a faculty in the area of finance and accounting, and he's also our chairperson executive education at IIM Jammu. So I would request Dr. Pankaj to say a few words on today's themes. Over to you, Dr. Pankaj.
Thank you, Dr. Mamta. Adaraniya Swamiji, the guests coming from outside of IIM Jammu and IIM Jammu fraternity. Dear students, first of all, it is my singular honor to have been given this opportunity to say a few words in the presence of such a holy soul amongst us, Swamiji. So thank you, Dr. Mamta. Also, I would like to congratulate the team Anandam led by Dr. Mamta for choosing a topic whose relevance is timeless and perhaps all the more so in this day and age. We see every day how many people are suffering from depression, people suffering from negativity, getting pessimistic, not having hope in their future, in their lives. At such a time, and this was all perhaps accelerated, accentuated by the events in the last 3 years, when humanity has, undergone a unprecedented onslaught of negative news, although there was always some hope that we will get over it. So this topic, I believe, is one of the best topics that could have been chosen for the day. Having said that, when I was given this mandate by Dr. Mamta, I was wondering that in the presence of such a holy soul, what will I speak? I'm not an expert on that, but there are a few thoughts. So I was thinking about this term optimism, and I realized that we can interpret its root. Root is opt, perhaps, and the word opt can be interpreted in two ways. To my mind, to my humble mind, one interpretation could be to choose, to opt. So that means even though our minds may not be in a natural state of being optimistic, there is always a choice available to us in any situation where we can choose to be optimistic. So that is one interpretation I could draw. The second interpretation I could draw was the word optimism is also coming from the word optics, which relates to light. So that means being optimistic means allowing light into our lives, allowing light into our minds. And then I suddenly realized that the definition of divinity is also the same. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, from darkness to light. So then perhaps I could draw a connection that being optimistic means being closer to divinity. Or in other words, to put it another way, being optimistic is what has been the divine providence for us if we want to be closer to the divinity. So I think this is all I have to offer about it. And like you, I am very, very eager to listen to Swamiji, and who can enlighten us with certain tips which can enrich our lives, which can fill our lives with light. So not taking much time, not standing between you and Swamiji, I hand it over to Dr. Mamta once again, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I again welcome and invite Dr. Swami Swatmananda Saraswati ji to share his thoughts and wisdom with all of us. Over to you, Swami ji. Stage is all yours now.
Thank you, Mamta ji. I would like to begin with the prayer that Dr. Pankaj ji mentioned in the first line. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Esteemed members of IIM Jammu Anandam Center for Happiness, the Board of Advisors, the faculties, the students here, Mamtaji, Pankajji, and everyone present, Namaskar and a very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I'm very thankful for this wonderful opportunity to interact with all of you on this beautiful topic. As Pankajji said, a very pertinent, timelessly relevant topic of cultivating optimism. So very beautifully he said the word opt. Opt is a choice, and human beings have the choice. The speciality of human beings is that we have a special faculty called the intellect. Even biologically, the frontal lobe and the prefrontal cortex is what segregates us from the animals. So every minute we have a choice. So optimism is the feeling that the future is going to be good, positive, successful. And each of us can make that choice. So how do we cultivate this optimism? And why is this so important? Because no matter what we want to achieve in life, whether it is success in our career, in our professional field, in our studies, in our relationships, in personal life, in social life, in spiritual life, optimism is the foundation. Last few years, as he said, have been very challenging, and there is quite a bit of uncertainty also. And yes, we are coming out of that, and the finishing line, as though we are reaching the finishing line, and COVID pandemic era would soon come to an end. But what will be the future depends on how, with what attitude we work, and with what vision we inspire ourselves. And so optimism is something that is a choice that each of us have to make consciously, in spite of circumstances what they are. So I'm just going to share a few thoughts that I put down in the form of a presentation here. I'll begin with this beautiful quote. Swami Chinmaya used to say that success is a tribute that life pays to excellence. Everybody wants to be successful in every area of life. There is a certain excellence. If we cultivate that, success is a natural byproduct of that. We don't have to chase success. We must cultivate excellence. Success follows. This may remind you of a movie, a very famous movie, and this dialogue also was there in that movie. Some of you must have seen that movie. Most of you may have seen it. It was called Three Idiots. And Ranchod Baba says this in Three Idiots, but I think Ranchod Baba was inspired by Swami Swatmananda. This quote of Swamiji has been a very long-held quote. So this excellence is a certain quality of mind, and optimism forms the very important part of this. Because if you see the life of all great achievers, it is not that circumstances have been always conducive. In fact, some circumstances have been very adverse. It is their resilience, it is their optimism that has made them achieve their greatness in spite of all the challenges they have faced. And so there is a formula which we made based on this the situation in the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna is a very highly qualified person, an efficient person, a very hardworking person, knowledgeable person, a value-based person, a very good person who prepared himself for the war, and yet in the battlefield, when the war is about to begin, he collapses. Many times that is what happens to us. At the crucial time, our mind suddenly breaks down, and we sometimes lose our balance, sometimes we lose our equipoise, and we are not able to perform. So what is that which helps us to ensure that as the pressures rise, we are able to ensure that we give our best and we don't crumble? So I keep creating these formulas just as a memory aid, and the formula is S minus S is equal to S plus S. Now obviously mathematically it's a wrong formula, but just as a memory aid. So success without stress is equal to skill plus strength. In the Gita 2nd chapter, Krishna tells Arjun that Arjun, give up this weakness of your heart. Don't blame the circumstances. You lift up yourself. Uttishta parantapa. And with skill and strength, Arjun had all the skills, but for that moment, he had lost the inner strength, the mental strength. And what did Krishna do? Did he change anything outside? Like in the management, they say, there is an outside-in approach and there's an inside-out approach. Outside-in approach is where we arrange the circumstances, things, and the comforts, the facilities that we have, so that the productivity is more and the performance is improved. And some perks, some benefits, some extra, rewards, all that can definitely help. A good office, a good secretary, a good, technological infrastructure, all that can help. But that alone is not enough. The inside-out approach is what we feel inside. What is our vision? What is the work we want to do? What is the difference we are making? And so this mental strength comes from the deeper spiritual anchoring also. We find in the Mahabharata war, nothing outside was changed. Before the Gita, Arjun was a depressed, dejected, despondent person. The same person, after the knowledge was given to him, becomes a dynamic man of action, dedicated to the work, goes ahead, does his duty, wins the war. So spiritual anchoring is a very, very important aspect. So some of the spiritual ideas is what we will share, that using that, how a dejected person became a positive, optimistic person, and how he won the war. We will see that. And hence, both are important in life. Skills are important, but strength is more important. Skills differ from person to person, but strength remains common to all. Each of us requires mental strength and spiritual anchoring. Today, we see that mental health itself is a big pandemic within the COVID pandemic. So much depression, anxiety, stress, worry, tension is there in everyone's life. And mental health challenges are increasing by the day. So what is that which will help us? So many beautiful spiritual principles are there which can help us to anchor in this beautiful knowledge, in this mental strength, to invoke that mental strength. So the first point I want to mention here now, how to cultivate optimism. Our view of ourselves determines the view of our life and the way we will live our life. How do I look at myself? If I look at myself in a very positive way, I feel enthusiastic and good about myself. My self-esteem is high. I feel I love myself. Self-love is there in my heart. Then my view of life also will be according to that. That I feel life is a great opportunity to achieve, to act, to make a difference, to serve the people, to learn new things, to explore. If I look at myself that, nobody loves me, nobody cares for me, it is so difficult, then my whole view of life also will be that life is difficult, life is challenging, people don't care, we are alone here. And then accordingly will be our way of life. So any obstacles come, one may get scared, one doesn't want to face, one wants to escape. So how do I view myself? And so the first point to understand here is self-love is the source of optimism. No matter how much talent we have or how less talent we have, how many skills we have, how much lesser skills we have, those are externalities and those can be cultivated, those can be developed. But self-love is something that I feel about myself. Do I love myself as a person? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How do I feel about myself? Do I feel good about me as an individual? So many people today do not have this self-love, and that is the cause of so much of depression, anxiety, and even drugs and suicide. Because self-love is lacking. Because we are taught that you are worthy only when you achieve a certain success. You are worthy only when you get certain results. You are worthy only when people applaud you. You are worthy only if you have this many followers on your social media. Now, continuously we live in that pressure, so we don't feel happy within. We don't feel I am good as I am and I can keep growing. We keep comparing, we keep competing, and we keep feeling I am not good enough. Dr. Abdul Kalam, he wanted to become a pilot and he could not become a pilot. He could not clear the vision test and he was very dejected. He prepared so much. He cleared the earlier rounds, but vision test he could not, and he went to Dehradun and he was rejected. I think about 11 people, he was the only one rejected. 10 of them got selected. He was rejected. So he was very sad and he was sitting on the banks of Ganga. And there he saw in Rishikesh, he came down to Rishikesh from Dehradun and he saw that there's Divine Life Society. And there he went and met Swami Shivananda and attended his satsang. And at the end of that satsang, Swami Shivananda would ask people if they have any questions. So satsang happened, question answer happened, and then people go and meet Swamiji and greet him. So Dr. Kalam also went. And looking at him, Swamiji said, "Young man, why are you so sad?" So he said, "I wanted to become a pilot, but I couldn't become a pilot." And he explained the whole thing. Two things that Swami Shivananda told him changed his whole life. First thing he told him that so what if you could not become a pilot? There can be greater things in store for you. Look ahead. This attitude is called optimism, that my future can have greater things in store for me. Let me not be dejected right now. Let me be hopeful. Let me be positive about my future. And is it not true that he could not become a pilot, but he became the president of India, who is the supreme commander of all the armed forces? Just imagine. Second, he told him, defeat the defeatist in you. He quoted a Tirukural verse in Tamil, and he said, defeat the defeatist in you. That each one of us, there is a defeatist who says, you are not good enough, you can't do great things, I don't think you have it in you. It pulls us down. So even if we have a vision, we want to achieve, something in us pulls us down all the time. And that is what makes us pessimistic or hopeless. So self-love is the source of optimism. I need to defeat the defeatist in me and invoke self-love. See the positives in me, become aware of my strengths and capitalize on those strengths. A very simple formula of life is strengthen your strengths and weaken your weakness. It's very simple and common sense. But somehow the human brain works in a reverse way. We strengthen our weakness and weaken our strengths. And that's why in the Gita 6th chapter, Shri Krishna tells Arjun, Uddhared Atmana Atmanam. Oh Arjun, lift yourself by yourself. Na Atmanam avasadayet. Do not condemn yourself. This self-condemnation is the defeatist attitude. Is the attitude which makes us escape, which doesn't want us to face challenges, which makes us become ordinary or value only mediocrity. So first step of optimism is to invoke self-love, to see what are the positives in me, how good am I as a person, what are the values that I have, what are the things that I have done in my life, from where I was to what I have come. If I understand all these and I feel I am a worthy person, I am a person who is lovable and capable of loving, then the further steps can happen beautifully. So we have always two choices. Either I can be a victor. Who is a victor? A victor is somebody who is willing to have a go, who is willing to explore life, who is willing to learn new things. Every day, every moment is a new opportunity, is ready to seize the day. Happy to set good goals, deal with difficulties, overcome challenges. A victor is one whose self-esteem depends only on himself or herself. It doesn't depend on others. That's why it is called self-esteem, what I think about me. But a victim is one who is very reluctant to try, hesitant, cannot set goals, gives up very quickly, even little obstacles come, gives up. Why? Because who one is depends on people, depends on events, depends on things, what people talk about me, what things have I achieved. If I have not achieved XYZ, I am not a worthy person. And one keeps victimizing oneself in the mind. So one always blames, why are you not happy? Why are you not successful? Oh, because I didn't get admission in this particular college. I didn't get that percentage. I didn't get this person to be in my life in a relationship. I don't have a good boss. My spouse doesn't understand me. I don't have a great team. One can keep on blaming everyone and everything else and not take charge of one's life. A victor or a victim, that is a choice that we have at every minute. And how will we do that choice? Only when we have self-love, we can choose to be victors. Otherwise, we will continuously be victims, and that is what destroys our potential. So always remember to change these poor me moments to up to me. It is up to me. You know, our hands, like he said, Dr. Pankaj said, it is a choice. Optimism, the word opt is a choice. So our hands have the key of optimism. How is it? Bend these three fingers. Now this is the key. A victor will always say it's up to me. A victim will always say, you are the cause, that person is the cause, this situation is the cause. So a victor does not blame. A victor takes charge and says, it's up to me. So you can draw a nice dot on your thumb, and every day, whenever the mind gets into a victim mode, say, it's up to me. How I respond is up to me. Situations can be anything. People can say anything. Success, failure may come and go. People may praise, people may criticize, but it is up to me how I respond. All great achievers have made this choice. That is up to me. They don't cry victim. They don't indulge in blame game. They take charge. So instead of having a pity party, always have this attitude that it is up to me. How to respond is up to me. So our destiny is in our hands. Either I can blame or I can take charge. Depends on me. What do I do? If I blame continuously, I will only keep losing opportunities. So this is the first quality, a very important one, that what is my feeling about myself. Optimism comes from that self-love. In the whole Gita, if you see so many things Krishna tells Arjun, but at the end of it, when Arjun is ready to fight the war, one of the reasons is because he has found that healthy self-love for himself again. He was feeling very bad that he has to kill his own people, and he was not having a good esteem about himself, and he was blaming himself that I will become the cause of so many people's destruction. But he had to do it as a duty. He's a soldier. To protect righteousness is his duty. So when he got that clarity, the feeling that he had about himself, where he didn't like himself, went. So that is the first point. Second point is a company. In spiritual knowledge, we call it, spiritual field, we call it as satsang. So when we say satsang, people think satsang means, some bhajan will happen, some kirtan will happen, some Babaji will be there, and, some prasad will be given. And, you have to listen to some stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata. Satsang can happen in that way also, where we listen to scriptures, but literally sat means positive, good, optimistic. Sang means company. So good company is called satsang. You become who you hang out with. Most of the time, with whom are we spending? What are the values? What is the feeling? What is the mindset of those people? The kind of peers that I have, the friends I have, the elders, the colleagues, what influence they have is very huge. And so try keep the company of people who inspire you, who have an inspiring vision themselves, and who encourage, motivate, who help you to come out of your comfort zones, who are there for you when there are difficult times. And avoid company of people who condemn you, discourage you, demotivate you, distract you, because the company plays a very, very, very big role. Now, even if you see one of the world's richest people, Warren Buffett, what does he say? It's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you will drift in that direction. Very important aspect is that I have to choose my company. It is better to not have a certain company than to have a wrong company. So it is always better to choose, because my mind, my thoughts, my feelings, my values will determine my goal. And these thoughts, feelings, values, etc. are influenced by people very, very strongly. So if I have company of inspiring people, positive people, I will rise high. So that is point number 2. Point 3 is the word yoga. You must have heard in spiritual field many times the word yoga, and today yoga has become very common. So lots of people do practice yoga, and they think that yoga is asanas, etc. Yoga literally means integration, alignment. Viyoga means disintegration. So I may have a great vision, values, I may have ambitions, I may have goals, I may have put milestones to work, everything I may have done, and I may act also, and I may even achieve some result. But if my body, mind, intellect are not in alignment, I may achieve some success, but I will still feel empty, I will still feel incomplete. But if I learn to align my body, mind, and intellect, what is the meaning of not aligning? What I do, how I feel, what I think is many times not aligned. So many people are in professions which they don't love. So many people do things just because of peer pressure, because of family pressure, because of financial pressure, because of maybe other circumstances. They are not made for that, but they are doing that. Sometimes it is a compulsion, one has to do it, so one does it, but one needs to come out of it soon as one can. So what I am made for, what I really love to do, and what I'm actually doing, if there is no alignment in that, I will not feel good about myself. See, Arjun intellectually knew he has to fight the war, but emotionally he got attached to his own grandfather, his own teacher, and he didn't want to fight the war, and physically he collapsed. So this is a disintegration. I know what should be done, but I do something else. Invariably, does it not happen? So many times we all know that, okay, we need to wake up in the morning, spend some time to do exercise, or do some study or do some meditation, but we don't land up doing it. Many times we know that we need to be caring, loving, forgiving, especially if I've been rude to someone, but when it comes to that, I'm not able to forgive. We know that, let us say, smoking, drinking is injurious to health, it is harmful, it can cause cancer, it may kill, but we're not able to stop for various reasons. One gets carried away in the flow. So what I know, what I feel, and how I act, if that is not in alignment, that disintegration will drain away a lot of energy. So here is Andre Agassi, a very, very famous tennis player, and he says in his autobiography called Open that I play tennis for a living, even though I hate tennis, hate it with a dark secret passion, and always have. Imagine a whole lifetime dedicated to something which he hates. He got into it because his father was an Iranian boxer and the family came under debt, and they had to, he ensured that Andre Agassi gets trained in tennis so that the family's financial situation improves. But Andre Agassi continued that, and he writes this in his book. Now imagine a successful person but not happy inside because he didn't do what he loved. In fact, he was hating tennis. And then there is Tendulkar, just a contrasting example. There can be many others. He says, I don't play for records. I love cricket. I always focus on playing well for my country. When he retired, he said this: last 24 years have been really special for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed my joyful journey. This is called alignment, MBA, mind body alignment. Where my passion is, that work when I do, excellence will manifest in my action, satisfaction in my thinking, and deep sense of happiness in my heart. So if alignment happens to a righteous purpose, to what I am really made for, everything in life gets aligned beautifully. I will achieve success, I will feel fulfillment, I will feel happy. That will fuel much more creative work. And so this is a third aspect, is yoga, to align our body, mind, and intellect. So in popular terms, what people call it, do what you love and love what you do. If I really do what I love, if that choice is there with me that I can choose to do what I love, then I must go ahead and do that, because that is the key of success, positivity, and happiness. For some reason, if I cannot choose that, like Andre Agassi could not choose at that point what he really loved to do and he was forced to do, then at least I should start loving what I'm doing. If I cannot do either of these, then negativity will be there in my life. Deep down, there will be a conflict in my personality. So this is called integration, and what helps us to integrate is what we call in the Gita as Swadharma. Swadharma means, Swa means your own, Dharma means your own duty and temperament. So actions based on your unique temperament or mindset. Each of us is very unique. What are we made for? what is natural to us, doing which we get absorbed, we lose the sense of time. Where if money was not a compulsion, what would we really do? Doing which gives me such a opportunity to make maximum difference in the society, and I feel such a great sense of contribution, fulfillment. That is my Swadharma. So that's why it is said in the Gita to act according to one's own taste, inborn and natural, that is called Swadharma, is the only known method of living in peace and joy, in success and satisfaction. In fact, in the Gita, it goes on to say that it is better to die doing what you are made for, even if it doesn't bring you a lot of popularity, than to copy someone else, which is not your temperament. So many people choose, science. Why? Because the stereotype is the brilliant students choose science. If they can't choose science, then second option, the moderate ones choose commerce and the useless ones go to arts. Now, this is a terrible stereotype. It should not, one should not choose based on this. One should choose based on what one is made for. And today there are so many options available to study, to make a career, to start. If one goes by these stereotypes, one becomes so unhappy. One of the most common things that happens to us when I do Chinmaya Yoga Kendra work, a lot of youth sessions I do, one of the most common questions comes is this, that how to find what am I really made for. And many of them have already chosen engineering and they say that, I am not made for this, now I'm struggling, now what do I do, how do I handle this? Because the person has not yet found out or put the attempt to find out. There are aptitude tests, etc., that people do, no doubt, but sometimes that is not enough. One needs to do little more introspection, apply some other methods, find out, ask oneself questions, speak to people, find out what is my Swadharma, and do that which one is really made for. We don't have to imitate, we don't have to fit in. So many great achievers who are innovators, who are trend setters, who are path breakers, they have not tried to fit in. They have walked their path and the world has followed them. So we need to have that attitude. So here is a very beautiful video that I found. I just want to share with you about this idea of be who you are.
I just wanna be me. If I lose a few fringe people that don't love who I am, well, that's a good thing. I'm proud to be who I am, cause that's a good thing. I'm gonna be who I am, that's how I should think. I'd rather walk with the few that love me, the few that want me, for me and who I really am. Won't pretend to fit in just like the sheep and lambs. Pretend to be who I'm not, don't think I really can. Fit in, I'd rather fit out. Real talk, I'd rather stick out. Work hard and let the enemy out. Take charge, putting the enemies down. I'm letting go of all inner doubt, cause we all know that with this life, there's only one shot, you can't live this twice. So I'm letting go of all resistance, cause there's nothing worse than living with a fake existence. Always being someone the world wants me to be. Always doing the things that others wanna see. But that can't be me no more. That just can't be me, no. Now that fake me goes down the drain. I got my watch, it's time for change. And for those who are meant to be, follow me on this journey. I just wanna be myself, live a life with it, yeah. I just wanna be myself, forever real, never being superficial, yeah. That makes it easy to be, and this I guarantee. Living a lie. I don't know. I guess living but not living a life. Yeah, that seems about right. Cause life's a gift. I don't wanna waste it. The real me, I'm I'm gonna embrace it. I'm original, no copy and pasting. Feel it inside, we're all creative. I just wanna express myself. I'm not gonna oppress myself no longer. If the others don't like it, well, they are meant to walk with me no longer. But the ones that support, they build me stronger. Not like the ones that abort or leave. I wanna live this life fully. I'm gonna live this life as the truth.
I'd much rather be myself than be another. I am who I am and I know there is no other. I'd much rather be myself than be another. Cause I'm one of one, after me there is no other. So I give hope to myself, I find strength in myself. Don't wanna be no one else, nah. You can't tell me that I'm less, I determine my own wealth, nah. I'm supporting myself, motivating myself, nah. So ask me who I wanna be. I just wanna be myself. Live a life inside the fiddle, yeah. I just wanna be myself. Forever real, never being superficial, yeah. That makes it easy to be, and this I guarantee.
That change. It's time to drive in your own lane. New book, time for a new page. New you, even with the old name. Cause you gotta love yourself truly. Look deep inside for the inner beauty. And you really owe it to yourself. Cause no one will love you if you don't love yourself. Look, you're not a faker, you're a creator. Stand tall like skyscrapers, a risk taker. So don't worry about the haters, cause in a couple years they all rate ya. It's a major key. Set yourself free, get rid of any old mentality, cause you're stronger than you used to be. Take the stage, this is your new me.
I want to tell you this one thing. Be yourself. What does that mean? When you can look in the mirror and know exactly who you are and exactly what you are and appreciate that and love that, that's it. Be yourself. It's your identity. Nurture it. Because it really is the biggest blessing we have. You only get one shot. You only get one shot.
So that was actually a beautiful summary of the 3 points that we did: self-love, satsang, and swadharma. That we get only one shot and we need to be who we are, not necessarily just to fit in and get trapped in a fiddle. So these 3 are beautiful ways to be optimistic. Love yourself, have company of inspiring people who are optimistic, positive, and ensure that we follow what we are really made for, that is our swadharma. Once I find what is my swadharma, in that field, let me have a high vision. That is the 4th aspect. Because as we saw, optimism means a feeling that my future will be good and positive. And that is a feeling of hope. That is a feeling of enthusiasm. And so that comes when we have a higher vision. The higher the vision is, greater is the inspiration and optimism. This line, small aim is a crime, is said by Dr. Abdul Kalam in his Song of the Youth that he wrote in the book called Ignited Minds. And there he says that to think small is a crime, because the smaller I think, lesser my potential will manifest. The greater I think, greater potential will manifest. So in the Gita, one name of Arjun is Parth. Parth means one who aspires for the highest, who never settles for mediocre, who doesn't think that chalta hai, it's all right, who doesn't compromise. That person who keeps a vision high is the person who remains inspired, doesn't have time for petty little quarrels and wasting the time and resources and energy. So what is my vision for my life? What is my vision for my country? What is my vision for the field in which I am? I should ask myself those questions and prepare myself to achieve that vision. And hence, it is said beautifully in the Gita that initially we need success for self-actualization and feeling good. It's very important. Because the higher goals we set and when we achieve, we push ourselves from level A to level B. Higher we have risen. That rising higher makes us feel good. What they say even in neuroscience, that this 4 hormones they release: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. They all release in the brain when we are positive, when we aspire for higher goals, we work, we achieve. That sense of achievement, success makes us feel good and happy. So what is my ideal? A single ideal can transform a listless soul into a towering leader of men. Swami Chinmaya said that. So we have to find that. Find a cause greater than yourself and dedicate yourself to that cause. Here is one video we made about 10 years ago. It can be updated in some time, no doubt. But these are examples of people who are individuals who have transformed themselves, and their transformation has transformed the whole country, impacted the whole country. So how one person can make a big difference if that person has that vision, that clarity, that passion to see this.
आज सब कुछ बदलेगा, आज अंबर मचलेगा, जब दिल में ज्योति की हो पुकार ये देश बढ़ेगा। आज तो जिद करना है, चलो हमें कुछ करना है, जिसे रास्ता ना देखना हो बस उसको डरना है। उम्मीदें हौसले ये सिर्फ शब्द ना रह जाए, जवा है हम दिमाग में दम, युवा को कोई रोक ना पाए। हमसे हो रोशनी, हम होंगे बल्ला, हमसे ही देश हो, मिलकर बढ़ेंगे। देखते हो खुद में कभी झांक के देखो, जब बदलेगा हर एक घर बदलेगा देश भी। जानकर सोच मिलेगी, सोच से राह मिलेगी, उस राह पर हम सफर युवा को जान मिलेगी। करवटे इनको साथ झेले हम, सब अपना है ना थकना है, अपने बाजुओं में है दम। हमसे हो रोशनी, हम होंगे बदला, हमसे ही देश हो, मिलकर बढ़ेंगे। शब्द ना रह जाए। जमा है हम दिमाग में दम, युवा को कोई रोक ना पाए। हमसे हो रोशनी, हम होंगे बदलाव, हमसे ही देश हो, मिलकर बनेंगे यार। हमसे हो रोशनी, हम होंगे बदलाव, हमसे ही देश हो, मिलकर बनेंगे यार। हमसे हो रोशनी, हम होंगे बदलाव, हमसे ही देश हो, मिलकर।
So those are 7 levels how one can transform and how one's transformation can lead to transformation of the whole world. So each one is important. Each one there had a vision and they pursued their vision. They were able to achieve success in spite of challenges, make a difference to the whole country and the world. So that is the 4th point. 5th point is that there should not be fear in us to make a mistake. So many of us hold back ourselves just because we are scared to make a mistake. And that will lead us to another mistake. So nothing we will learn, even neurologically, if you see, the brain will keep making mistakes, will keep making new neural pathways, and that is how one becomes steady in whatever skill one learns, whatever attitude one practices also. There is nothing that we can achieve without absolutely making any mistake. So the fear of failure, fear of making a mistake has to be dropped. Somewhere I read nicely, it was said, fear is first attempt in learning. I may have failed, but that fail is the first attempt in learning. I have fallen, but what did I learn? So next time I don't make that mistake. So if I have that attitude that there can be failures, there can be mistakes I make, so it's okay to fail, but it is not okay to remain there, not learn the lesson and keep repeating. And if I fail, does not mean I am a failure. Failure is an event, it is not me. Many people think I am a failure, and that's why people attempt suicide just because they don't get a certain percentage, just because somebody rejects their proposal in a relationship, because they feel I am a failure, I am a loser, I am unworthy. Optimism is to understand very clearly that in this event or in this particular let us say the exam or in this particular interview, in that I may have failed, but doesn't mean I am a failure. So remember, what is your conviction? Why do you want that goal? And keep learning and keep pursuing. And that is what Gita says, refuel your inspiration and enthusiasm. Don't allow failure to overpower, failure to make us feel unworthy. See, when there are these 3 things, a stone, a glass, and a ball, which one of them are you? Think about it. A stone, when it is dropped, it will just stay there. It may even create a dent in the earth, depends on the size and the weight of the stone. A glass, when it is dropped, it will break. But a ball, when it is thrown, it will bounce. And the beauty of that is, the harder you hit the ball, the higher it will rise. That quality of resilience is what we must have in us. That if we have this quality of resilience, then we are not scared of future. Our future will be positive in spite of the so-called failures. Failure does not mean my future is negative, my future is doomed. Failure only means that I can learn and I am that much more better than earlier. And so very important it is to not allow fear of failures as well as failure to stop us. We have to overcome. And we can overcome fear with love. And that's why the earlier what we said, if I love myself, if I love the goal that I have chosen for myself, if that goal is an inspiring goal, I will overcome all fear. I will overcome any failures because they are only stepping stones. So here we have to understand this aspect to remain positive, a very, very important aspect. Can I take 5 more minutes?
Sure, sure, Swamiji, sure.
Thank you. So we have to know that the greater the goals I keep, the greater will be the obstacles, the more difficult will be the challenges that come. But optimism is that I can overcome, I must overcome, and I will overcome. So that is the mantra of courage. Weak mind will always say, can I do it? Must I do it? Will I be able to do it? And they don't want to take up the challenges and they want to escape. But a strong mind will say, I can, I must, I will. This can be applied individually. This can be applied even in a team. As a team, we can, we must, we will. That confidence must be there. That courage must be there, that no matter what obstacles come, we will overcome. So this mantra can be tried anytime one feels low, one feels no, we can't do, or one feels that I'm not motivated enough. Tell yourself, I can, I must, and I will. That's a way to motivate oneself. Here is a very nice video of Jack Ma and how many failures he went through and so many things that we learned today. This summarizes it beautifully.
I did not have a rich father. I tried 3 times for university. All failed. I applied for Harvard for 10 times. All failed. They don't even want to see me. For the last time, I went to the teachers' college, which was considered the 3rd or 4th class of my city. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. It was so difficult at that time. I was so frustrated because I taught in the university. My pay was $10 a month because I could not find a good job. In 1994, discussed that I'm going to do something called internet. And 23 of them against it. They said, this is a stupid idea. We have never heard about internet, and you know nothing about computer. And I never thought I was smart. Nobody believed that I could be successful because everybody said, well, this guy think differently, think crazily, they think about something never work. I tried to borrow $3,000 from the banks. Took me 3 months, but I still cannot get it. We talked to over 30 or 40 venture capitalists. Everybody said, no, forget it. A lot of people said Alibaba is a terrible model. As I said, I believe it. I think this thing could be big if we keep on working. I never thought it would be that big like today. But I believe that something is waiting for me there. And I have to work hard to prove myself. That was the tough experience. So we gathered $50,000 from 18 founders. We started. For the first 3 years, we did not have even $1 revenue from our business. It was not easy.
You don't make any money. You've got extraordinary claims, and yet you make nothing. That's internet. Yes, but what's the point? Are you a millionaire? Now? No. Do you want to be? Well, I hope.
But why it keeps going ahead, going forward? Because I received lots of email of thanks from the customer. They say, this is such a great thing. We cannot pay you, but this thing helped us. If you keep on helping us, one day you will be successful, and I believe this. Little by little, we build up our business. Little by little, we build up our ecosystem of the infrastructure. And now, after 16 years, we have an Alibaba group, we have a Tmall group, we have a Taobao group, we have Alipay. And people said, you are so smart. How could you make a company like that? Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jack Welch, Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg. The difference between those people and other people, they are always optimistic for the future. They never complain. They always try to solve the problems of the others. When you're optimistic, it's always opportunity. People, same here today. Jeff, where's the opportunity? I don't have a job. I don't have this, I don't have that. The best assets you have is that you are young. Don't complain. Let the other people complain. The opportunity always lies where people complain. Think about how you can make things different. And then when you think about this, start to do it. I saw a lot of people, young people, have fantastic ideas every evening. But in the morning, they go to the office same again. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, you have to do the things before the other people do. You have to wake up before the other people wake up. You have to be more brave than the others. When I was young, I went to Hangzhou West Lake. There's a hotel. Many foreign visitors visit there. And I went there every morning, 5 o'clock, to practice. English. I found everything the foreign visitors told me are so different from the things my parents told me, my teacher told me, and the newspaper I read. So since then, I think everything use my own brain. Use your own brain to think. To everybody, to any person, tomorrow is new. Make the move, make the action. Whether investors believe in this or not, whether your friends believe it or not, whether your parents believe it or not, that's not important. You believe it, your team believe it, and work day and night on this. Make enough mistakes. You fall, you stand up. If you really want to work for yourself, think about the others, because only when the other people are successful, when the other people are happy, you'll be successful, you will be happy. Don't worry about the money. Money follow the people. People should follow the dreams. If you have a dream, just to go ahead.
Such a beautiful video. If you have a dream, go ahead and believe in that, whether people believe or not. So finally, when we work hard, we overcome obstacles, we may make mistakes, we learn, we rise up. Whatever results come, we learn to be balanced, not extremely elated, not extremely depressed. We may celebrate, we may feel low sometimes. That happens, that is natural, but no extremes. So be unattached to success or unaffected by failures. That is the quality of the wise. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga is equanimity. If I remain in balance, nothing can disturb me, and such a mind can achieve all great success. It will be optimistic always. So I conclude with this, that look for something positive each day, even if some days you need to look harder. What am I grateful for today? What am I thankful for today? When we count our blessings, there is a lot to be optimistic about, and we will overcome any challenges, any weaknesses we have based on this gratitude, not based on insecurity and feeling that I am not worthy. So that's where it is. I would end with a formula which you can apply, and that formula is called T20. You know, we are in the age of T20 cricket, so exercise 20 minutes, it will release so many beautiful, important hormones in the body that will give you the feel-good factor. Learn meditation, any method which will make the mind quiet. It may be breath observation, it may be some chakra, it may be some visualization, it can be mantra chanting, it can be being in nature and becoming silent. Whatever makes the mind quiet, consciously, 20 minutes a day, and 20 minutes study some self-help books, spiritual literature, which can give us the right clarity about ourselves, about our life. If we follow this 20 minutes exercise, 20 minutes meditation, 20 minutes of study, our body, mind, intellect also will align. We become great yogis. We achieve great success. Thank you very much. This is where I conclude. If you like to follow me, my handle is Chinmaya Shivam. I am on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify, everywhere. So do follow me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Swamiji, for such an insightful enlightenment. I would like to invite our audience if they have any questions. We are good to go. You can clear any doubts if you have. It might be personal, professional, anything you would like to ask Swamiji. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Swamiji. I would like to ask that if circumstances force you to take a profession, how do you feel optimistic about that?
Yeah, so when we spoke about it, that do what you love and love what you do. So if circumstances have forced you to choose a profession, then start loving that what you are doing. In case you are not able to choose what you do, what you love really. Start finding what is the good aspect in that. Start finding what is the service aspect in that. Start finding what makes the difference in people's life. Find some connect with that which resonates with you, and then you find the satisfaction in that and continue to do it. If there is an opportunity to shift to something that you really love, take that opportunity. But if it is not there, then at least love what you do. And that will come by seeing the goodness, seeing the positive, seeing the benefits, seeing the blessings. Someone has raised their hand.
Arjus, you
Yeah.
can go ahead and ask your question.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for the lightning talk. The second video that you showed had a lot of inspiring people in that video, and that reminded me of Bhagat Singh also. When he says that I don't want to get married because like Azadi hi meri dulhan, and so that's a 23-year-old saying that I don't want comforts in life. I don't want to get married because my pride is freedom. So in such situations, when you are under colonial rule or there's a war going on or your family is not well financially, it's easy to find a higher purpose in life. To say that I want a mission larger than life because my circumstances are not that great. In the 21st century, the kind of problems that people face are that I didn't get enough likes on Instagram. So that is the privileged life that our parents have given to us. And I was just wondering, how do you really find a higher, larger than life mission when everything is going good externally?
So actually speaking, when everything is going good externally for me, I am in a better position to be able to serve because I don't have personal needs compelling me. So I just need to open my mind and see that there is so many things where the world needs even solutions. Even today, climate change is an issue, poverty is an issue, drugs is an issue, mental health is an issue. How many things are going on all around us which needs urgent attention, where we can contribute. Depending on what resonates with me, I should first find out that okay, if everything is going good for me, how long will I be stuck in these things that, how many followers, how many likes, and that's only about I. If I open up my mind that what can I give, what can I contribute, then there is so much around that is happening which really needs each individual's time, effort, attention. Even our, let us say, education system, how to inspire young people to be more positive, or even for that matter, attention. Today, the attention span has become so less. How to help people to increase their attention span, or mindfulness, how to become more mindful in life. So many challenges we have is just because of lack of mindfulness. We are not eating mindfully, we are not talking mindfully, we are not working mindfully. So it is up to us where we find that what is the need in the society, what is my talent, and if I match that. That is what Swadharma also is all about. It is to match my temperament with the service that I can do to the society. So I have to find that for myself.
All right, so thank you.
Yeah, next question from Anshmali.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are, Anshmali.
So, Swamiji, as we all know, it was really tough to hold on to the optimism in the COVID times. So, how can one believe in himself in these absurd times, like when nothing works?
So it is challenging, there is no doubt. When there is future is uncertain and one doesn't even know what will happen next and whether one will be living, not living. Of course, there are lots of challenges there, and which is where two things come into play. One is how much I can look back at sometimes difficult times have come in my life. At that time, it was very challenging and one did not have hope, one became hopeless. But how did one come out of it? If one has gone through some difficult times like that and come out, one can derive that strength and that hope from there. That is one thing that one can do. Second thing that one can do is understand that there are, whatever one is going through, this is where the spiritual knowledge and spiritual anchoring comes in. Whatever one is going through, there is a certain karmic result, because karmic connection. Why I am going through certain thing is because some karma I have done in the past. But that karma in the past was a choice of that past. What I am doing today is my karma of the present that will influence my future. So if I believe in cause and effect, yesterday's free will is today's fate. Today's free will is tomorrow's fate. So how I can do, what is the best way I can respond to at this moment? I should ask myself that, is this the best that I can do at this moment? With whatever courage possible, I need to ask this question and invoke that courage in me, that can I be more positive? Can I not operate out of fear like what we saw? When we operate out of fear, then we get scared. Can I operate out of strength? Can I operate out of a deeper sense of understanding of this law of cause and effect? And if you are having devotion in your mind, if you believe in a higher entity, then definitely anchor and invoke that higher power, that please give me strength, chant your prayers, do the mantras, whatever it may be, whatever you believe in. If you believe in, then anchor, derive the strength from there. That difficult times are there, no doubt, but my faith in the Supreme will ensure that I pass through these difficult times with as much as strength and balance as I can. So one can invoke from one's own past, one's own understanding of law of cause and effect, one's own surrender to the divine, and one can have little more patience. Every situation is temporary, it will pass. That's a law of life. Even this will pass. These 4 words, if one remembers, everything starts, it stays for some time, it will pass. So various ways by which I can anchor in any of these attitudes, and I can find my strength in most difficult or dark times also. So many people found their strength in service, no? People risk their lives to go out and serve people who are suffering from COVID, who didn't have food, who are migrant laborers. Many people went out and found their inspiration in service. They said, this is the time my country needs me, I need to go out and do. They were not thinking about themselves alone. They were thinking about others. So each one can find in their own ways what resonates with them and go through these dark times.
Yes, the next question is from Sir, Dr. Ashmi, sir. So you will proceed, please. Sir?
Should I go ahead?
Yeah,
Yes.
Sorry, sir.
Pranam Swamiji, it was really enlightening talk, and thanks for bestowing us with your knowledge. I was just wondering that when we talk about Arjuna and Krishna, so Arjuna was really fortunate, or it was divine where Krishna was there. So when I am fighting my battle in my own Kurukshetra, where I will find my Krishna? So how to identify that Krishna?
Wonderful question. So one aspect is Krishna is in the hearts of all people. Krishna is not just a form outside. So you will find your guidance in a quiet mind, which we call also as the voice of conscience. The voice of conscience will tell us. And it keeps telling us. Many times our desires and our insistence overshadows that. So it becomes difficult to listen to that voice. But in each of us who are, well educated, who know basic morality, who know right and wrong, it will guide us from within. That is one. And second, if the law of the world is very clear, if there is a demand, supply will come. So if there is a demand in you that I need a teacher outside, like Krishna had Arjun had Krishna with him, I want a teacher, I need somebody to guide, If I demand sustain in a sustained way, supply will come. There will be a person who will come into your life, or who may be there, but maybe you have not identified, but with the demand, you will be able to identify, okay, here is the person. And you will find the right guidance, because that's how the spiritual world also it works. If there's a student who sincerely demands for knowledge and guidance, the guidance will come through the teacher. Many times it comes also through many other sources. Suddenly you will read some quote, or suddenly you will find, some messages come on your phone, or it strikes you from within. Revelations happen to people. Oh, this is what I need to do. So guidance comes. It depends on my intensity, what I really want. People also may come, guidance also may come. I have to just be open to it.
Sarthak, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are audible.
Yeah, good afternoon. I wanted to ask, can narcissistic people be called more optimistic as they are high on self-love?
Sorry, I didn't get the first word. Can what type of people?
I was asking, can narcissistic people be called more optimistic as they are high on self-love?
So there's a difference between self-love and selfishness. Narcissistic people are closed. They think what they are saying, they are doing alone is right, and they are not able to accommodate others. They are not sensitive. They are not open. Self-love is not that. In self-love, I love myself, and because I love myself and I also know what it does to me, I also respect the other person, that they have their right to love themselves, and they have their views, they have their opinions, they have their views. So if they don't agree with me, that is their freedom, just like I have my freedom. If I love, if there is self-love genuinely, there will be sensitivity, freedom, accommodativeness of all. In narcissism, there is absolutely complete closed mindset, and one is focused only on I, me, and mine. It is either my way or highway. So that is not really self-love. That is love directed to the extreme of complete selfishness.
Do we have any more questions? Yeah, I guess Sarthak again. No, okay. Any more question, guys? Anshuman, you may proceed, please.
Yeah, Pranam Swamiji. I just want to ask that how does one identify Swadharma during their personal life or during inter-relationship conflicts?
So, see, Swadharma is that when I am in that state of Swadharma, then what I am doing makes me feel very happy. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to try to fit in. I don't have to imitate somebody. What is that? If that is clear to me from whatever, by my past, my choices I have made, and I know, okay, this is what I need to do. Like Tendulkar is clear, Lata is clear. They are very clear about that. If that is very clear, this is what I need to do, I go ahead and do that. But if that is not clear and I need to find out, then I need to start exploring different options and see where my mind finds a certain level of joy, satisfaction, where I feel inspired, where, like we said earlier, we don't lose, we don't keep a track of time, where we can be engaged in that work and we lose the sense of time. So I may have to explore. Exploration is one aspect. Second aspect is I need to ask myself these questions, that doing what gives me maximum satisfaction, where if money is not a compulsion, I can still do this. What would I like to be remembered for in my life? Sometimes people say that, if I have to tell my life story to my grandchildren, what would I say proudly? This is what I did and this is what I achieved. And there's one nice psychological tool which people prescribe, and that is, ask yourself these questions: that between the age of 3 and 5, what did I want to become? Between the age of 6 and 10, what did I want to become? Become meaning, what did I really love? And maybe the question, what do I want to become, may not be there at that age, but what did I really love doing at that age? So 3 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25. If these different age groups, I really sit and introspect and think, what did I really love in these ages? What is it that made me very happy, made me very satisfied? I may find some common thread. That may be my Swadharma. So like that, there are different methods to find out what is my Swadharma. And one criteria to know that this is not my Swadharma is where I don't feel the joy, I don't feel satisfaction, there is frustration, and there is a certain amount of stress, and no matter how best I try, I just can't feel happy in that. Then that means that I'm not made for that, however glamorous that may be. And in relationships, how to know my own Swadharma? Again, it will be only through introspection, where I need to know whether I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert, whether I'm a more expressive person, less expressive person, or a moderately expressive person. What are my likes and preferences? I like to read, or I like to converse, or I like to talk more, or I like to be quiet more. I like sports more, or I like these types of movies more. So the more I understand about myself in different areas, the food, the clothes, the values, my value system is what is most important. My values and my emotions, what really matter to me, that will determine who I am as a person. What are my ideals? What are my goals? If I know myself well, then in relationships, I will not need to impress somebody. I will not need their validation. I don't need that, people should praise me, then only I feel good about myself. None of that I will need. Why? Because I have done my homework. In that homework, I can take help of people. Like the famous concept which we have, the Johari window, where our mind, there is some part of the mind that is known to me, unknown to others. That is one quadrant. Second quadrant is, there are some things that are not known to me but known to others. So I can take feedback from people about me. Then there are certain things that are known to me and to people also. And finally, there are certain things which are not known to me, not known to people. In time, it will manifest. So in these 4 quadrants, if I start identifying, I will understand myself as a person based on my introspection, based on the inputs of people, and I come to a balanced understanding of who I am. Then in relationship, I should be that person. I can adjust, no doubt, but I don't have to completely lose my identity to pretend to be something else, to impress somebody, to get their validation, to get their approval. That I don't need to do.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, better now. So do we have more questions or?
No, ma'am, we don't have any more questions.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess the audience is satisfied. Swamiji already enlightened us with so much of content. I would like to invite Mamta ma'am to give a vote of thanks to Swamiji.
Ashish, Dr. Kulwinder is going to give vote of thanks. I request Dr. Kulwinder ma'am to kindly proceed with the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mamta. So, Pranam Swamiji. So on this occasion, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of IIM Jammu and the organizing team of this program. I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to our director, Professor B.S. Sahai, Director IIM Jammu, in absentia, for encouraging us to organize programs which focuses on developing the holistic well-being of our students. It gives me an immense pleasure to thank our today's speaker, Swami Swatmananda ji, who is one of the most dynamic leaders of the Chinmaya mission, for enlightening us by sharing his thoughtful and provoking words of wisdom and focusing on the need to cultivate optimism by ways like spiritual anchoring and focusing on the ways how we view ourselves, our life, and self-love. Your thoughts have truly inspired us, Swamiji. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to thank Dr. Mamta Tripathi, Chairperson Anandam, for organizing such session, which enables the students to gain the most enriching and valuable knowledge from great speakers like Swami Swatmananda ji. Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank Dr. Pankaj Kumar Agarwal for addressing our participants. The insights you provide to us students is highly valuable, sir, and your words always boost the morale of our students. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank our IT team for the smooth commencement of this program. Last but not the least, I thank all the students for being a wonderful audience of today's session. I'm assured that you have gained a lot from this session, and now onwards, you will strive to be a victor and not a victim. And along with your MBA, you will also practice the art of MBA, that is alignment of mind, body, that is mind-body alignment. And also you will practice the T20 formula of exercise, meditation, and study as guided by our Swamiji. And you will always be optimistic about the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again to Dr. Sahai and to everyone present here for this wonderful opportunity. Namaskar.